One thing I wanted to point out while Chris Hall is getting off is the importance of the aquaria in our nation to be able to communicate some of these important concepts that we are talking about. And I think they are underutilized sometimes in being able to do that. We talked about of course, their role in aquaculture and changing the public perception. Similar things, whether it's ocean plastics, whether it's climate, ocean change, whatever. So we can't overlook that part of the ocean science and tech partnership. So it's great to have you and you're representative of a lot of our aquarium members of COL and otherwise. I think it's a big part of the future and where we have to go in terms of partnerships. Just a couple of my own personal takeaways as well. I think it's the interagency partnerships and the way that, we have a lot of good activities and a great organization. It's really complex. Thought we had a great question. Can you sort of explain what it is and how it got here? And I think Darren basically, he sort of answered the question and said, we don't have a week. But I think, understanding what it is and improving it and the opportunities they're going for, whether it's NOP, or NOP, or NOC, or NOPIP, or whatever you want to, these various sort of acronyms that are out there. There are great opportunities, and the SOST is certainly something that is working, and we have great opportunities going forward. I learned a couple of things. I learned that it was great to hear from Senator Markey and understanding that his spouse, as a retired admiral, is the boss in their household. But I'm not the boss in my household, so I think there's a problem with this model. But anyway, we talked about risk, and it was great comments on risk by the panel and the risk of partnerships. And I think I can't stress enough of some of the larger global international sort of organizations that deal with public-private partnerships talk about structure and like a prenuptial type of an agreement for any partnership. Understanding up front who's sharing what risk, financial risk, because they are different depending upon where you come from. I think back to some of the comments I've heard from speeches of like folks at NASA, we built a $300 million satellite, and it didn't work, but it was great technology. We learned a lot, and oh well, but it fell out of the sky, so, but we learned a lot. If that was a private company that built a $300 million satellite, and it fell out of the sky, the first one, well, there you go, bankruptcy, right? So different risk levels. It was mentioned the decade of the ocean, and that gets me to a point on the international. I think we have great opportunities, as were mentioned, to bring together the partnerships, the public interagency partnerships, as well as our private and philanthropic international partnerships. And the actual decade of the ocean starts in 2021 to 2030. And I heard a scientist say, well, that's not a decade. Yeah, it is. It's 1 to 0. It's 10 years. But anyway, I'm not going to tell you who or where, but yeah, you've got to be able to count even if you have a PhD. So, but then 2021 to 2030. So that's going to be, and that's where the International Ocean Council has basically decreed that. So I think we have a great opportunity, and there's time to influence the various players and partners in the U.S. to make a strong effort going forward. So let's not forget about that. And with the opportunities coming up with the G7 in Canada and things like that, let's not just sit back and watch those go by. So I do think we did move the ball a few nautical miles. As I navigated the partnership efforts here, I think we have moved the ship, sorry, a few nautical miles forward. So I thank you for that. I want to say 3 groups that I want to thank. First of all, and I'll do this on behalf of COL, and just remember, this is part of our job at COL is to create the collaboration like this, because in the ocean, remember that collaboration starts with COL. It's very easy. So we are happy to do this, and it's part of our job. On behalf of the board and members of COL, I want to thank all of our, certainly all of our roundtable and our case study participants and all of our moderators. So please, a big hand for everybody there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The next group I want to thank the staff of COL. So stand up and raise your hand if you're already standing. If you're one of the staff of COL, please. Casey, get up. Everybody stand up, please. A humongous effort. Jesse, and several are not here.
There's a large team that puts this on, and you'll see the first section because we are doubling down on the purpose of reception. We send everyone over to handle the 500 of the ocean science and technology.
Yeah. But especially our public affairs group with Casey and Allie and Jason and Stacy have worked very hard. And then don't forget about Ken, the master of all things IT, technical, audio, visual, and virtual, and whatever things happen here. So Ken in the back, but all of our public affairs team, and then all the folks that help. Again, one more round of applause for them. Thank you. And finally, most importantly, I want to thank you, each and every one who was here, those who have left. Your participation, I think this is good. I like the way this went. You know, I think it was active. We got a great type of insight. You all had a chance to speak if you wanted to. That type of discourse is so important right now in going forward and navigating these partnerships and advancing ocean science and tech. So I just want to say thank you for everyone who was a piece and part of this. Thank you for helping us in this very important area of ocean partnerships going forward. And so give yourself a round of applause as you leave. And remember just one final note. We are reforming for the reception, Rayburn 2063. The map is on the back. And we'll see you there. Thanks again.